And welcome everybody to episode 70 of the Paws of podcast. It's been a hot minute since our last episode of the Paws Up podcast, but I mean, when you have a month as hectic as September has been with 4 straight games in South Florida, you have to make the most out of it with the Paws Up preview. But we're so happy to be back. I'm Jay Gibson. That's my friend and co-host Kevin Brawl, and our guest for today's show is none other than a veteran of FIU football, running back for the Panthers, Lexington Joseph. Flex, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. How you doing?
We're just doing so good, man.
Great.
It's awesome. There's some fun news upcoming for FIU football in general. They literally just dropped a teaser. This was recorded on the second day of October on Wednesday. They just dropped a teaser for the new Vice uniforms. I can't wait to see those things tomorrow. But yeah, man, it's been going great. We're excited for FIU's upcoming game against Liberty on Tuesday, and just want to talk some shop with you here, Flex. So let's get right into it, man. Just wanted to ask you, I always like asking the athletes this: what point in your life did you first begin to play football competitively, and how did you decide to be a running back instead of any other position?
Well, my first year, I was 5 years old, so 2006, and my whole family played football. My older brother, so I used to always go to the games. And my older brother played running back, so the coaches assumed I played running back as well. So then, just so happened to be, I was good at it, so I stuck with it the rest of my life.
Your uncle, right? Jocelyn, correct me if I get this wrong. Jocelyn Borgella, I believe. Borgella. Yeah. He was a defensive back who was drafted by the Detroit Lions. He's the first ever player of Haitian descent to play in the NFL. That's super sick. Mm-hmm. How much of an inspiration was he growing up in regards to how you understand and play the game?
It was to see him make it that far. It just gave you hope, because like sometimes you could doubt yourself, but to see somebody that shares the same blood as me, and I've always been a role model my entire life, so it's like to see him do it, it always gave me the ability that I can do it as well.
Talk a little bit about your time at Miami Central. You're winning the state title in 2019. I believe you were teammates with KJ Owens over there as well, and then graduating in the top 15 of your class. Just talk about, your time at Miami Central, which eventually Kewan would go on to be there, and a lot of FIU guys are now, we're Miami Central guys. So just talk a little bit about your time there and just that experience and how it helped you set you up for the future.
Well, first and foremost, they taught me what winning was. Not just winning on the field, but winning off the field, like doing everything right, going to class, holding your teammates accountable, holding yourself accountable. So they taught me a lot that I still carry with me to this day, and I try to teach all to the younger kids on the team, the younger guys, the freshmen and sophomores. And they also taught me what brotherhood was, because the culture there at Miami Central is like we all together. Either you in or you out. So, and having that mindset and those lifelong bonds with all my coaches, man, I'm just grateful for all of it, and I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't go nowhere else.
Aside from the 2019 title, just any other memories that kind of stand out to you from your time there?
Cool, it's a lot. 2017 we beat Bishop Gorman, and we in Las Vegas, and we actually got stuck up there because the hurricane back in Miami. So we was there for about like 2 weeks. Yeah, Irma. We was there about 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks, we made a good thing out of that situation. Like we did a lot of bonding activities, got to know each other better. So it was like that's probably one of my favorite moments.
Not a bad city to get stuck in,
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your recruiting process. You were a 3-star recruit, and you got a couple offers from power conference teams. Boston College, Pitt, and then in Florida here, you were offered by FAU and FIU. Obviously, you ended up joining the Panthers. Just what was that process like, and what made you choose FIU?
I'm real big on loyalty. So before the process, like FIU was the only team really wanted to give me that chance. So going into my senior year, I was asking all like the coaches who offered me and stuff like, can I commit? Can I commit? And the only team that let me commit was FIU. So I felt like, okay, FIU want to take that chance with me, I'm gonna stick with them no matter what. So towards the end of the season, all the other schools wanted me to come. I say, nah, FIU, they wanted me, so I'm gonna stick with them. So I'm real big on loyalty. So that would make me choose FIU over the other schools.
Oh, I love that. I love that. When you first made it here, what were your initial thoughts on the campus itself, the facilities, the stadium, and who were some of the first coaches and teammates that you got to know?
Well, I was like, yo, this is real. Like it's huge. It's like I'm on my
Mhm.
own now. I'm not in my mom's house anymore. I gotta wake myself up. My mom ain't gotta bang on my door. I gotta wake myself up now. So, but I always been a mature kid. So, but a couple of the first, my first one was Anthony Jones because he played at Miami Central as well. So,
Right.
and a couple other players too. So when I got there, it felt like home because FIU was a home a lot of kids from Miami. So they took me under their wing and like Devontae Price. Like they took me under those older veteran running backs, Napoleon Maxwell. They took me under their wing and made me feel welcome.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that 2019 season, right? Limited action for you as a true freshman, but that running back room was stacked that season. You
Yeah.
had Devontae Price and Napoleon Maxwell, like you had mentioned. What are some pieces of advice or regiments did you learn from those guys that season that you still use to this day?
Oh, always be 10 minutes early, and also if you no matter what, you can always get better. Don't feel like you the best. They always told me, they was like, man, don't ever get to that point where you just comfortable and you okay where you at, because there's always something you can work on. Like no matter what, like don't ever get so. And like me realizing that, I'm like, okay, you right. And I'm a firm believer that you can learn from anyone. So I never been that hard headed type person. So they always told me never be comfortable.
I want to say that your first ever play was a kick return touchdown. I want to say, or it was something close to that, at least on the special team side. If you want to talk
Yeah,
about that a little bit,
that was my first. That was my first touchdown. That was the first
there
play
we go.
of the 2020 season. We
Yeah.
actually played
Yeah.
Liberty
Mm-hmm.
and Lynchburg. First play of the season, kick return touchdown.
Yeah, you're
And that
bringing
was my
odds over to
first.
Lynchburg then.
Yeah, that was my first ever kick return in college. So
Yeah, 100 yards, which was crazy
yeah,
back then. It was the record at the time. That was
hmm
part of a 2020 season that was just weird, right?
yeah,
Things got weird that year. That 100-yard return against Liberty, you earned your first start as a Panther that season, but you also suffered a season-ending injury in the process. Yeah, in the midst of all this, COVID-19 was rampant and it gutted this team. They went 0-5
yeah.
in the process. A lot of games canceled. When thinking about 2020 on how it went for you specifically, just what do you make of all of it that happened?
The whole situation, my model for the situation would be fighting through adversity. Like, no matter how hard you get hit, you always got to get back up. But as you can see, the world got hit hard with COVID, but everybody adapted. You wore a mask, you had to stay 6 feet away. Nobody flinched. You had to always fight through adversity, and keeping that mindset in your life, like you can get through anything. And as you said, I did have a season-ending injury. I was sad at first because I was having a great year, but everything happened for a reason. So I was positive. I was in every meeting. I was even teaching the backup kick return. Like, this is what you got to do. Just trust me. Just trust me. And his next kick return, EJ Wilson, he took one
Yeah.
back. So, yeah, just fight through adversity.
You had some action as well in 2021, and then your big year obviously was 2022, and I believe you ran for over 500 yards. Just talk a little bit about that. That was, I believe, Mac's first year as well at FIU. Just talk about those last 2 years for you. Prior to 2023, which we'll get into in a bit.
Well, just trusting the process, really. Because, like you said, I've been there since 2019. I just waited my time. I had a lot of great backs in front of me, so I never cried or whined about anything. And I always just waited my time. Because a lot of guys, they'll get in, freshmen, they're not playing, and they get frustrated. Now you're not working on your craft. Now you distracted. Now you push yourself way further back. So I always stayed the course. So like you say, 2022 was Mac's first year, and I told him, "Hey, I got you." Because coming in a new coach, and nobody really not necessarily we didn't. I don't want to say nobody really trusted him. Nobody really knew him because we was with Bush Davis. So it's like, and what Mac did, I like that he really kept most people on the team because a lot of
Yeah.
coaches don't do that. And I told him, I said, because what you did, I really respect that, like, because you gave us a chance to show you. So then I just made the most of my opportunity that year. I just gave him all.
Talk a little bit about Coach Mac. I mean, you've been through a couple years of Butch. Now you're through a couple years of Mac. Talk about your first initial reactions of Coach and just what it's been like playing under for him for these last couple of years.
Well, it's been great. My first initial thought that he wanted to change the culture, which he did. He wanted to bring that winning back because, as you know, FIU won the 3 bowl games, and I was fortunate to be a part of one of those. So I came in when we were actually winning, so I knew what it took. And I told him, Coach, I said, I know what it takes to get these guys going. I'm gonna help you no matter what. And I seen that he was really invested into helping because we have a lot of talent in this area and on this team. So it's like he came in and like one thing I can tell you that he really cares. Like he cares for all of us. Like he tell us he be up late night thinking about everyone. So it's like he really loves us and he cares for us. And to this day, he's still holding up to that.
Talk about 2023. You were set to have a big season once again, and unfortunately, I think this is at the Charles Hadley practice that you tore your ACL. What do you remember from that day? What do you remember when you found out that you weren't going to be playing football in 2023 and just having to fight through that?
As you said, it was supposed to be my big year, and then once it happened, I knew, like during the play, I knew when it happened. It's like I felt the pops, but everybody was like, "Nah, nothing happened, nothing happened." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I don't think it's so good. I don't think it's so good." But the only thing, everybody around me, my family, KJ Owens, everyone, because as you know, me and KJ, we grew up together. So his mom, she called him, she texted me, praying for me, and like every day she texts me. My family, a lot of people just say, "Hey, be positive, be positive, be positive." So once I got my MRI and I got the news about I tore my ACL and my meniscus, it hit me hard because, as you say, I was prepared to like, okay, this is my senior year, time to lead the team to a conference championship, just lead the team, and it was all taken away in one play. It was hard for me to accept at first, but having a great support system, my family, my dad, my coaches, Coach Mack as well, he even called me like, I heard the news, but hey, I'm here for you no matter what. And just having the team by my side and just really I had to translate from a player to a coach. That's what that I was trying to I just wanted to make the most out of a bad situation. Like, of course I wanted to go out there and strap up and make some plays, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, I couldn't. But it was a point in my life that helped me learn more about myself, like my purpose outside of football. And I feel like that was very important just for me as a person.
Yeah.
And I found out different like things I like to do outside of football. A lot of people don't know. Once I got hurt, I actually got a job, and I still was going to practice and going to the games, everything. I was keeping, and I found out that I like working with kids because I was working at a middle school as an assistant PE coach. So I was around sports, and I was helping. And I found out that that's what I like. Even though my mom's a teacher, I didn't know I had it in me that I could follow her footsteps. It wasn't for my injury. And I also built a lot of different connections in the public school system too. So I just made the most out of the bad situation.
That's really cool. I didn't know that part. I mean, we're going to talk about it a little bit now, but you had mentioned that you had internships lined up with, I believe, Miami-Dade and with the city. Just talk a little bit about that. And you said yourself multiple times that you were very, very close to quitting. Just, what made you end up wanting to come back, and just talk about those opportunities a little bit that you did leave behind that you're hoping to get after your playing career.
Well, those opportunities, because as you know, I want to be the mayor, and I wanted like to get into government type stuff like that. And I had those opportunities that I wanted to get into, but one thing that made me stop, I didn't want to think back 10 years from now and tell myself I should have played another year. Because I don't want to tell my future kids like, man, your dad could have been this, your dad should have did that. So my mindset was I wanted to give it my all. They granted me the medical red shirt, so I had one more year left. I was like, and I always wanted to play with KJ again because that's my guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I can't wait for you to come back. I can't wait for you to come back. Each and every step he with me, helping me with rehab. He telling he stand on my behind. I was like, nah, man. And I love these guys. I love playing for Coach Mack. So I was like, yeah. Then I called him because the process, he wanted me to make a decision by, I think I want to say December, like towards the end of the season. So I was like, I told him the same thing. I was like, Coach, I don't know if I'm gonna come back. I got a lot of stuff lined up. I'm ready to get into my career field outside of football. So I called him He was just about to board his flight, and I called him. I said, Coach, I made my mind up. I'm ready to come back. He said, Are you for real? You serious? Are you sure? I'm like, yes, Coach. Let's do it. I can't wait. He said that was the best news he heard since his wife said, I do.
Oh man, that's awesome. Would you still like to become mayor of Miami-Dade County one day?
Of course, yeah. I wanna give back to the community. You know, a lot of people say they want to give back to the community, but my mindset is more of giving back in a permanently way. Cause a lot of people they like to give back, and it be more temporary. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the toy drives. I love all that.
Yeah.
But in the day, that stuff ends. Like, you do the toy drive, okay. You give back temporarily, and just okay, nothing really changes. That's why I took the route of really going to government and really implementing and making the laws and proposing the laws to really change and shape the community from the inside out. So yeah, even outside of when I'm done playing football, I still want to get into that.
What would be your first order of business?
My first order, I have a lot already, but my first one, this some inside. There's some inside. It will be called the Tree of Life app.
Okay.
So basically, I want to plant different like fruit trees and stuff around the city, and have it regulated to give to the homeless and the needy.
Wow.
That's great.
That's amazing. No, that's super sick, Flex. By the way, where did that nickname come from, Flex? When did it first start going? When did it catch on?
Well, okay, my dad, he was very like a well-known weightlifter, and like his favorite machine was the Bowflex machine.
Okay.
So my dad nickname is Rambo. So my older brother nickname is Bo. He loved the machine so much, he nicknamed me Flex for Bowflex. So that's
Wow.
where
Is it time for a break, Kevin?
Let's do it. Let's go into a quick news break.
All right, let's get into my news break. A look at all things FIU athletics and just FIU in general. Should take a couple minutes. We have some good stuff here. Let's keep it with FIU football. Linebacker Travion Barnes was named the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week following an exceptional performance against Louisiana Tech, in which they gave up a season-low 10 points. The junior from Altamonte Springs has led the way with 14 tackles, 2 for a loss, a sack, and a QB hurry. Barnes already has 54 total tackles this season, which leads the team. Moving on now to FIU men's soccer, as David Huja was named to the AAC Weekly Honor Roll. In 2 matches of work, David clocked in 180 minutes, helped FIU's backline in that draw against SMU, and scored the game-winning goal against Tulsa. David has been busy this season, playing in every minute of every match so far, leading the team in that regard. Finally, Florida International University is now considered a top 50 public university in the United States, according to the U.S. News and World Report 2025 college rankings. FIU currently stands at number 46 among public universities and number 98 among both public and private. FIU is tied for first place in the nation for social mobility, which measures the ability of graduates to use their degrees to launch careers. FIU now joins Florida, Florida State, and South Florida in the top 50 public universities found in the Sunshine State. So that was your quick look at Newsbreak. So let's get back into the swing of things, talking about this current season. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about this season so far, Flex. You guys are right now 2-3, already 1-0 in conference play for the first time since 2018. Huge win against Central Michigan, a big win against Louisiana Tech. Some 2 games I probably should have ended up on the winning side of things with FAU and Monmouth. Just talk about the season so far and how would you say it's gone?
it's going well. Like you said, it could have been better. But all the stuff we had was mistakes, self-inflicted wounds, and stuff we know we can fix. But right now, only thing that matters is conference play, because the rest of our games are conference. So we want to know right now. And each week we starting off 0-0. So we treat each game as championship game number 1, championship game number 2. So we come with that mindset, like, okay, we won last week. It's a whole new week now. So far the season been going well.
Talk a little bit about that backfield that you guys have. I mean, that was one of the biggest things, at least Jake and I were talking about going into the season, was how strong the running back room is with you, KJ, and Shamari. Just talk about those 3 guys, and haven't been able to work with David Yost and your running backs coach, Eric Hickson.
Well, the backfield is very competitive,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very unselfish. So we challenge each other. Okay, you want to have a big run? Great job, great run. Now it's my turn to have a big run. So it's like a little friendly competition that's going on. We all listen to each other too. So it's like, hey, KJ come to the side like, hey, Flake, I feel like you should hit it right here. I got you. It's none of that selfishness going on. So it's like, and having Coach Yos utilize us the right way, and Coach Hickson, he was a great running back in his time. So learning from a guy like that, and when your coach did it, it hits different. Okay, I know you did it before, so I'm really gonna lock in and listen. Okay, so and those his he had little secrets and tips that he gave, like that he did at K-State. So it's like having those guys in that position and having that backfield that competitive, we all get better each and every day.
Talk a little bit about the moment that you scored that first touchdown since coming back from the injuries against Central Michigan. It was towards the end of the game, I want to say, but just running into that end zone, finally, giving your team 6 points on the board. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it was a surreal moment. Just that's why I said I'm back. Like, because at one point in my life, I thought I was done scoring touchdowns and scrapping up my helmet and stuff like that. But honestly, it was a team effort. So it wasn't my first touchdown. It was FIU touchdown. But it felt great, man. Just to be back in that end zone, help my team
win. What's that saying? You have to beat the best to be the best. FIU has a tough matchup this upcoming week against the undefeated Liberty Flames on Tuesday night. Just how are you and the team handling the opportunity to potentially shock the college football world against a tough all-around group in the Flames?
We just come to give it all each and every play. It's more about us, but about what we do. Because as you know, in our previous games, we had a lot of different stuff where we beat ourselves. Like we turned the ball over. We one play away from a big play. So and having these extra days to really prepare, it's going to be a great game.
I do want to ask you really quickly about the Flames. Just what stands out to you about their defense? They've been really, really good this season. I mean, I think their last loss in the last 2 years was against Oregon in that bowl game.
Well, they're an experienced team. Most of their defense are returning guys, so they have chemistry, and they all play for each other, and they all fly around. So they're a great group, but our offense is great as well too. So
there you
it's
go.
gonna be a great game.
Speaking of that offense, obviously you have your leader in Keewan Jenkins. Just what have you seen from him so far this season? He went through a lot in practices to take up the leadership role, just improve upon what he showed us last season. Just what have you seen from Lights?
He's more vocal now. He's more comfortable because last year he was a freshman. He'll talk, but not really. But now he's really, hey, come on, guys, I need you. Come on. So like him stepping up, and he's the starting quarterback. We all respect him. So if he say something, everybody's gonna listen. And at first he didn't know he had that type of power. But him being more comfortable in the system, now he has more ability to change the plays from Coach Yos. He had more ability to do what he want to do. Because he believes he know he's a great player. He know he's a great player. He come from Miami Central. All we make is great players.
Of course.
So, but yeah, year 2 is he took a huge step up.
Definitely. Yeah.
What personal goals did you set before the season, if any, and if so, how are you doing so far in regards to them?
I only set one personal goal, only one. When I made my mindset that we was coming back, win the conference championship. Nothing else. I told him I could have 1 yard the whole year. If we win championship, I'm okay.
It's going to be tough. There's some great teams in Conference USA. Yeah. Western Kentucky's good. FIU doesn't play them, I know, but Sam Houston, great team so far, but you got him at home in that Vice game. So that's going to be something exciting to watch for sure. Who are some, I guess you could say, underrated players on this FIU squad, both offense and defense, that just come to your mind that you feel don't get enough coverage?
That's a long list. Because I really want to say the whole team, because as a whole team we're underrated, and we take that underdog mindset. Like, okay, nobody believe in us, but you guys of course too, but nobody else believe in us to win but us. So if I had to, let me try to think about a specific name.
How about one player on offense, one on defense?
One player offense, one player on defense.
I'm making it even tougher for him.
Okay, on offense. Well, he just had a bad injury, Juju Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Defense. I defense balled out last game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they have.
Quaylen Hill.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I seen him put the work in, lifting all this weight. One day I walked in the weight room, I'm just looking like the bar is actually bending like this, and I'm like, but to see where he come from to earn a scholarship and to make those big plays on that goal line stop last week.
Yes.
Yeah, and he came a long way. He really because before he didn't really believe in himself, but Coach Mack and Coach Durfee and the entire team helped them believe like, hey, Quaylen, you're a great player.
Mm-hmm.
Use your strength. Like you're a great player. Believe in yourself, and he been up from there.
Talk a little bit about the running back room itself. I mean, obviously, we already spoke about that three-headed monster of you, KJ, and Shamari. But I mean, deep down, I mean, you have a guy like Shaborn Demps, you have a Jose Corbo, Jordan Clemens. I mean, it's a very deep running back room. If there's one thing that FIU's been able to develop very well these last couple of years, it's definitely been running backs. It always feels like a mainstay in that roster. That's always going to be strong.
Yeah, those younger guys, they're gonna be great. So y'all just stick around and watch. The one thing about them, they all listen. They take the tips and pointers. So whenever I call them up, hey guys, make sure you hold the ball like this, high and tight. Make sure you read the hole like this, pass pro and stuff like that. But those guys got some talent.
Yeah,
and I miss Devontae Lyons too. That guy's gonna be really good too.
He's gonna be real good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Something many people don't know about you, Flex, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't really know about this either until I watched that Day in the Life video. By the way, those videos are always so well made by the by the media team at FIU.
Best media team in the world.
There we go. Yes,
something that many don't know. It's your ability to spit some bars on the mic, Flex. That song in the background was fire. When did this passion for rapping start, and how's it currently going? What have you been working on?
Well, it started probably, I want to say, 2014. I knew I had the ability because I like in middle school, I used to like freestyle in front of the whole cafeteria. Everybody really liked it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I know what I'm doing. Maybe I know what I'm doing. And one of my older brothers actually make music, so he'd take me to the studio and I just sit down and actually just watch. But prior to that, in elementary school, a lot of people know this either. I always had a love for instruments. Like I played the cello and the violin, so I always liked music.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I always liked music. So, but I actually didn't start rapping until like 2014. So, a couple years later, I'm like, okay, it's like 26. It's like I'm 10th grade at Miami Central. I'm like, okay, and I actually made a song and people started liking it. I'm like, okay, maybe I know what I'm doing. Like, okay. Then actually, it wasn't until this record label. They call it Trap Lab 151. They based in New York. They reached out to me and said, hey, we really like you and we want to sign you. So I said, I must be really good. and to this day, I still keep in contact with them. They know I play football. They're like, yeah, we know you play football. So they really don't demand much. But from that point, it's been going well. During the season, I really don't get into it because my mindset is football and school.
Right.
And, you barely have free time. So music always been a passion of mine. So
what have you most recently produced? I mean, have you done albums? Are we expecting the Flex World Tour at some point? What's going on?
Hopefully, after I'm done with Football World Tour. But yeah, I've dropped like 2 albums in my lifetime. I actually do songs for different marketing companies. Like they hit me up and like, can you make a theme song for me?
Oh, okay.
So stuff like that, yeah. But recently, I just been football.
Hey man, you have Pitbull right up your alley with Pitbull Stadium. So a little collab there soon, huh?
Yeah,
I know Pitbull. Yeah, Pitbull's working on an anthem. He needs to give Flex a call.
To get me on the feature. We need that.
Oh man, that's so awesome. All right, Flex, thanks for spending some time with us today. Let's start to get into some of the fun rapid fire questions we have here at the end. Kevin, I think you got the first one.
I do. Flex, who is the funniest player on the football team? I know there's a lot of personalities over there.
JoJo Evans, hands down.
We found out about what he said at halftime during that La Tech game. Just being like, I played the full half. I played.
Yeah, he's the funniest. He's hilarious.
Who's getting the aux cord and who is not getting the aux cord in the locker room or in a practice?
Aux cord might go to JoJo. JoJo got some good taste.
There we go.
JoJo, yeah, he's a jack of all trades. He's a comedian, good music taste. Who's not getting it? Probably O-lineman Jackson Choate. Nah, he's not getting it.
What's on your playlist? What's on your playlist?
Oh, see, my playlist is crazy. Like, it's the most random playlist ever. It goes from rap to pop music to Nicki Minaj to it's crazy. Like, I like so many different types of music. It's like it just switched. Every song is a different vibe.
Are you on your own playlist?
Oh yeah, a couple songs, but sometimes I hear myself talk all the time. So sometimes I want to take a break from my own voice and I listen to somebody else.
Where is your favorite place to grab food on campus?
On campus, probably Chili's, because they got a lot of different variety of stuff. Pasta, chicken. I really like fried chicken too, so they got some good seafood too, so probably Chili's.
First person to ever say Chili's, Jake.
I know. They usually they go to Tropical Smoothie or Panda, but no, I respect the Chili's love.
Alrighty. Who do you think right now is the best running back in the NFL?
Woo.
There's a lot of good ones too.
A lot of good ones. Derrick Henry that last game was crazy. Oh my gosh.
It was nuts.
But I like Jahmyr Gibbs.
There we go. All right.
Yeah,
I like him too.
Yeah. I won't say he's the best right now, but my favorite part would be Jahmyr Gibbs right now. Even though I'm a Cowboys fan, and my favorite team tour is Zeke, because I would say Ezekiel Elliott. That's my guy.
There we go.
But
yeah,
I say Jahmyr Gibbs.
I wanted to ask about that because in that day in the life video, you were caught wearing a phallic, disgusting hoodie that featured a Dallas Cowboys logo. Just you're a Miami kid, Flex. How did that happen?
Well, my dad he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, so he said growing up, that's the only team they showed on TV back in the day. So, and they were winning. So it's crazy because all my brothers, I have 4 brothers, and all my brothers, we all grew up Cowboys fans. And I'm the only one who stuck with it. So my dad said I'm his favorite.
Okay. FIU has a lot of nice uniforms to choose from. We're about to find out what another one looks like in like 24 hours. But what would you say is the best looking set you guys have worn?
Oh, the Biscayne blue. If it's up to me, I wish we could wear it every game. Besides from the Vice jerseys. I haven't seen them yet either myself, so I'm just as excited as you guys.
Okay.
But if it's up to me, I wish we could wear the Biscayne blue every game. I wish we could wear it in practice. I wish we could wear it to sleep. I wish we could wear it everywhere. I love those uniforms.
Hey, you guys are 2-0 in those too, so good luck. So we always ask this to every athlete, Flex, who should be the next football player we get on this show?
Oh, Keyshawn Owens, of course. That's my guy.
There
Just
you go.
have to slowly complete the entire running back room. I feel it.
That's my guy.
All righty, Flex. You've been awesome, man. We appreciate having you on. Just have one last question to ask you. Not really a question, but if you have anything you'd like to say to the fans, to FIU, to anybody, the floor is now yours.
Hey, man. Thank you, Panther family, man. I love you guys for always being supportive through thick and thin, and you guys are the best fan base in the world, man. And before I go, Paws up. Love you guys.
All righty. Paws up as well. Best of luck to FIU football as they take on Liberty on Tuesday, October 28th at 7 o'clock. That's going to be on CBS Sports Network. This is going to be your first Tuesday night football game, Flex. I mean, nothing like midweek football, Go support the Panthers at Pitbull Stadium when they take on Sam Houston on October 22nd, 7:30. Should be a fun one. That's the Vice game. But until then, Flex, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. And for Kevin and myself, just have fun and paws up.
Paws up.